Hello and welcome to Series 2, Episode 8 of the Wandering Women podcast. Jess is about to pour a drink. Hey!
Oh!
You meant to... This is why I pour the drinks.
You pour them way more nice than me. You're also like, glug, 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 motherfucker. I'm like, psh.
Oh
Mine
God.
sound like I could have just dropped a bottle of Absolute into a glass, which is what happened.
It's not even... Let's do a cheers so they can listen to the
You
sound.
can't do a fucking
Shh. Wait, no, listen.
You can't do a cheers, please. Do you want me to top you up with this last bit?
Oh, what? Is that all there is? Have we got
No,
another
I've
bottle?
got you another bottle.
Oh, alright, yeah.
Yeah, then.
Wait, let me...
Glug, glug, glug.
Glug, 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 motherfucker. Wait, okay. Sounds like a wee. Sounds like the end of a wee.
Oh,
Let's do a cheers.
okay, ready?
Okay, so today we are cheersing with plastic glasses because the glasses, well, obviously not plastic glasses because that's not a thing.
Plastic glass.
Anyway, all of the glasses in our house have just fucking gone missing.
They have, haven't they?
And then you ended up just buying some plastic ones off Amazon.
Yeah, I wanted some just tumblers, you know, the ones that look like really nice glass, except they're not, they're plastic. And when you drop them, they bounce.
Yeah.
Which is useful in our house.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I like them, I
That's more
do.
absolutely nice. So, okay,
Yeah,
so this episode...
I've put way too much Absolute in mine now.
Why don't you put some of
I
yours
don't
in
even
mine
drink it.
and then put some Smirnoff?
Oh, no, it's alright.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's fine. I thought I put more in than that.
Okay.
It
No, you just
sounded
put
like...
more on.
Ooh,
That's alright, isn't it?
getting brave with the Absolute. That's a new bottle, you know, I opened it.
When did you get it?
We bought it at Christmas.
Did we?
Yeah.
What
And
do
it's
you-
had its actual wrapper on it and everything till just like an hour ago when I undid it.
Oh, cute.
Yeah, it's cute. It's been in the cupboard. So we're going to be talking about contraception. Why did you just pull that face at me?
Because
Jamie just raged.
I don't have to worry about contraception anymore.
No, yeah, we should probably caveat this entire podcast with the fact that obviously since we both came out a couple of years ago, obviously we
Don't have to worry about birth
don't have to
control
worry
anymore.
about getting pregnant for obvious reasons.
Well, I don't know. Have you seen those articles where it says that it's actually a myth that lesbians... that you can't get pregnant from lesbian sex?
Oh no, someone had a go at... Well, 2 people had a go at me for commenting on that post this week because I just couldn't even stop laughing that there was an actual magazine article that was like, did you know it was a myth that lesbians, you know, can't get pregnant with each other? And I was just like, oh, fuck off, will you?
Oh, yeah.
It's not a fucking myth. I can't imagine what sex ed lessons must be like now. Can you imagine that?
Fuck knows. They were fucking awful anyway.
Yeah, they were bad. Right, so they were bad before. Imagine them now. Can you imagine like standing up at the front of the class and going, "Now some of you can get pregnant, but we don't know which ones." Who knows? It's like potluck.
So we're going to put you all on the contraceptive
You're
pill.
all going on the progesterone only pill, which will be fine.
Bullshit. They'll put them on the combined.
Yeah, it will be fine for all of you, I'm sure.
And in 50 years' time, we won't figure out that it's strongly linked to cancer.
I just can't imagine what those lessons are like anymore.
I was actually talking to a friend today. I was talking to Eleanor, and I was saying that I was talking to her about the pill and stuff because I was telling her about my endo and about just weight gain, weight loss on the pills. And then I was like, I've just realised that we're talking about this as if it actually has nothing to do with birth control.
What do you mean, me and you?
No, me and Eleanor were just talking, and we were talking about
I see.
but it goes over your head so much. The actual use, the actual reason that we all started using it,
But
and then we end up staying on it to control things.
But yeah, now that's really interesting because I wanted to get into that in this podcast. That So loads of us were put on contraception to avoid teenage pregnancy because that was like the UK's policy and priority was to reduce teenage pregnancies. So like as far as from a policy point of view, it was like stop girls from getting pregnant, whack them on some contraception. It wasn't how are they getting pregnant? Who's making them pregnant? Why are all these teenagers getting pregnant with adult men? Because we know that there are 4 times as many teenage mums as there is teenage dads in the UK, right? Which means that the majority of all teenage pregnancies are made by adult men, not by other teenage boys.
Yeah.
You know? So, like, that would suggest that if you're putting a load of teenage girls on contraception, there's a load of fucking men out there raping kids. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Sexually abusing kids.
Yeah.
Not that they care. So it was always about pregnancy, wasn't it? But then, like, I wanted to ask... Like,
yeah, but then what about if you're, like, 19 or 18 and with, like, a 24 or 25-year-old? That would be classed as it, wouldn't it?
Classed as what?
Like,
okay.
No, it would be classed as a teenage pregnancy with an adult man, wouldn't it?
I think...
I don't agree with it. Like, I think... Like, imagine someone my age, like someone like me, 23, going out with, like, an 18-year-old.
I think...
It's fucking weird.
Yeah, but I think that's a woman way of thinking. I don't think women are attracted to 18-year-olds. Do you know what I mean? But I think men are. Do you know, like, so if a man was 23 or 22 and he was attracted to an 18-year-old, I don't think he would have any issues around
I think,
that.
like, that sort of, like, 4 years is a bit better, but I don't know, I just can't imagine. Like, I can't imagine finding, like, an 18-year-old attractive.
No.
And I'm only 23.
Yeah, no, I know.
So imagine, like, when I'm, like, 25.
Yeah.
Like, no.
Yeah. But I think that's why it's so rare to find women that go for men and that are much, much younger than them. It's always the other way around. It's men seeking out women and girls.
Yeah, that's true.
Much younger than them. So I've got some questions that I thought that we could discuss and like some of the things that I thought about asking you.
Excellent.
Some of it's personal and some of it's about opinion. So the first question for both of us is, what contraception have you tried?
Okay. What, like, does that include things like condoms and stuff?
Well, yeah, I guess.
Yeah, so like condoms, and then I was put on the combined pill when I was 16.
Yep.
And then I was on that until I was about 21. And then, like, my skin started getting shit, my hair started getting shit, my weight was, like... It was, like, I think a lot of it was, like, swelling and, like, water weight. And then I told my doctor about it, and she was like, oh, like, sometimes people just end up being on it so long that their body just isn't happy with it anymore. And then she put me on the progesterone only. So I think they're the only ones that I've been on.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to go on. It wasn't really an option. When you go to the GPs, you sort of get told which one to go on.
I never did.
You're not?
Well,
I got given a leaflet, but your doctor recommends it, and you're like 16, you're like, yeah, okay.
Yeah, yeah, I guess. I think I read a lot into it because so many of my friends were having such severe side effects from the pill. Like, loads of my friends were really struggling on the pill. Are you...
Oh my god, that is so fucking strong. Can I get some, like, more mixer in that?
I thought you were going to go, can I get a hell yeah? Sorry, it was the face you pulled. You, like, pulled the face. It was so strong. You're like, it's so fucking strong. Can I get a hell yeah?
No, I was saying it's so strong. I was so tempted to spit that back into the cup.
Can I taste it?
Yeah.
I just want to see how much of a Mardar should be in. Oh no, hang on, that smells quite strong.
Go on. Have a gulp like I did because I'm thirsty.
You're always thirsty. I'm going to spit this drink out. Don't look at me like that.
I'm looking at you like that. That was not as big of a gulp as that I took.
That's fine.
Give me some more mixer.
Yeah, you can, but I still think that's fine. You can barely even... I mean, it's a bit warm on the throat. But...
It's burning you now, isn't it? It's burning my throat.
Oh, sorry. The rustle of a Sainsbury's bag.
Oh, Sainsbury's.
I was just about to say it's not even from Sainsbury's, but it is. What am I on about? Okay, back to...
Wait.
Oh, she wants to do a glug glug motherfucker. You've woke the dog up now. Look, she's looking at you.
Yeah, and I'm trying to do the sound
She's like, Mum, what are you doing? Why are you blowing the ghost out of the Smirnoff? Right, you happy now you've watered down your vodka?
There we go. Oh, so that was it. We realised, so for you OG listeners...
The clitorati.
Yes, the true. You'll remember that the first probably 5-ish podcasts, I was doing a free sound effect with every podcast and I just forgot.
I love that she calls them a free sound effect.
Yeah, people might want to cut it up and use it as a ringtone.
In the future, we're going to make you subscribe to Jamie's fucking stupid noises.
No, I wouldn't use subscriptions. But if anybody wanted to sort of, like, I don't know how you would do it, record a bit of it or download it. I don't know how the kids do these things these days.
Why on earth would anybody do this?
And then just cut it and then have it as their message tone or their ringtone.
Anyway, go on then. What's your sound effect?
Okay, so I've got 2 today.
Sound effect of the week.
Oh, now that's got to be a sound effect now.
It's not. I just ad lib. I write the theme tune, sing the theme tune.
I was thinking I could write the theme tune, sing the theme tune. Anyway, only a very small proportion of UK listeners will know what that is.
Yeah, I know. Where he starts singing and he's like
dancing.
Yeah, and he's like, David's recently been made redundant. Okay, go on.
Okay, so this week I have got Pikachu.
I'm dreading this.
And whilst I do the Pikachu one, I'll try and remember what the other one
It was Boo.
Oh yeah.
From Monsters Inc.
Right. Okay. So I'm going to do the I'm going to do the Boo one from Monsters Inc. So this is my impression of Boo from Monsters Inc. Don't look at me.
You know, like those dogs that like do a poo somewhere. Don't look at me anymore. Stop.
I thought it was more like
Stop watching me while I poo.
It was more like Damien from Mean Girls. I was like, don't look at me.
No, it really wasn't.
Listen, everybody is waiting for my sound effect.
Sorry, I'll shut up.
Okay. I need to compose myself.
I'm not looking. I've got my... So, just so you know, if you can hear, I've got my arm across my eyes.
You can hear this. My arm is across my eyes. Honestly, we've not even drank anything yet.
I've drank more than you.
Okay, this is Boo from Monsters Inc.
Mike Wazowski.
Was that good or was that really bad?
Oh, we're going to make a joke.
I thought that one was quite good.
Oh, God.
Okay, and then the other one.
That was awesome.
This one is Pikachu from Pokemon. Okay.
Pika Pika.
And that was it.
How do I know if that's right?
Because I'm a Pokemon master.
Oh. Is that what Pikachu says?
That's literally all Pikachu says. He doesn't say that. It's like,
Pika Pika.
Why?
Because that's all he can say. He's a Pokemon.
Oh my God, I'm so glad that I was a teenager and like drinking and smoking weed when that shit came out.
So was I.
Yeah, the second time around.
What do you mean the second time around?
Pokemon came out like for the first time properly when I was a teenager, and then it like kind of made a comeback 2 or 3 times.
Yeah.
And then it got another comeback with Pokemon Go. Yeah,
it's
it
wicked.
Like, came out of the blue.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're not talking about contraception at all.
Well, I think talking about Pokemon is quite good contraception.
Yeah, you're right.
Which contraception have you tried? Well, the pill, the coil,
Pokemon
and wearing
Go.
Crocs.
Can you imagine if you went into like a clinic and they were like, you've got the progesterone only pill, you got the implant, you got the coil, or you've got Pokemon Go? You just download the app now.
Pokemon.
And if you wander around and make it really clear that you're catching Pokemon and that you stand outside of Morrison's and be like, yeah, I got one, then that is actually the most effective form of contraception in the UK at present.
Do you realise these little nerds shag each other?
Who, the Pokemon things?
No, the Pokemon players.
What?
Pokemon trainers.
In anime?
No.
You mean the people? You mean humans that play
Yes.
Pokemon fuck each other?
Yes.
Okay.
They're not sexless beings.
No, I didn't say they were. I just.
Do you think people who wear Crocs shag each other?
Well, they like seek out other Croc wearers.
Yeah.
There's like a Croc Tinder.
Do you think it's like that, or do you think
Proctor.
they just happen? Do you think they just like gravitate towards each other?
Can you imagine being like at your like like it's like so Mom, how did you meet Dad?
Well, Mary Sue, many years ago on Croctor,
You had to do
your mom had got the blinkies on the Crocs, and I had the green Crocs.
Oh my shitting god! What?
He was a green Croc, she was a pink Croc. Ah.
Also a form of contraception. What are we doing, dicking around with pills and shit when we could just be playing Pokemon Go and wearing Crocs at the same time?
Oh no. Oh no.
No, doctor, I've not used condoms in several years. What, you've been having unprotected sex? No, I've not been having any.
Aww.
Okay, so let's get back somehow to what we were talking
Reality. Oh, there goes gravity. Oh.
Okay, what contraception have I tried? The implant, progesterone only pill, the combined pill, and condoms. Ugh. Oh my god. I really don't want to get into the sexuality thing.
Okay.
I would have to like write a fucking book on that or something. Ugh, ugh. Don't want to talk about it. But the first contraception I ever got put on was an implant when I was like 12 or something, which is like just I have a lot of opinions on that. But for those of you who don't know what that is, it's like a little bar that's like filled with progesterone hormone that gets put under the fatty tissue in your arm, and it slowly releases it into your body over a period of 2 years, I think, or sometimes 3 years. And I kind of remember the procedure to put it in my arm.
Do they like, I imagine it as, on like space films where they like put like a tracker in someone and like.
It's not far off that, Jamie.
Yeah.
It really isn't. I think they sometimes numb the area as well. They give a little local anaesthetic and then they do it as quickly as they can. And then they bandage your arm up like fuck.
Why? Because it bleeds.
No, it's to protect the site because it swells. It's really sore. One of the things I can honestly say to you is that there were loads of girls in my year that were given the implant really early, and some girls could bend it in their arm. And they used to be like, here, look. And they could bend it and twist it and turn it round. Yeah, and I couldn't even touch mine. I couldn't even touch it. Like, if it brushed against me, because you could feel it under your skin. If I, brushed it against the side of my chest or my boob, and I could feel, it was like a matchstick under my skin, it would make me, it would send, chills all the way up my spine. So, I couldn't even touch mine at all. And, if somebody went to, if someone comes up behind you to scare you for a laugh or something, they grab hold of your arms, that would cause immense pain to me. So nobody could touch my arms. So, if I went like that...
Oh, don't. Well,
yeah, that would be enough for me. It would hurt so bad.
Yeah.
I hated them. And I had that. And then I had the combined pill. And I was given the combined pill much, much later in life when I was in my early 20s. And that was how I found out, I think, that I can't tolerate estrogen at all. It makes me so ill. Honestly, I've never felt side effects so I put literally about 2 stone on in a month of water. It wasn't even weight. I literally swelled up. My face swelled up, my wrists swelled up, my legs swelled up. And then I was bleeding constantly. I was in pain every single day. I couldn't think straight. I had headaches every day. I was not suited to it at all. And obviously I've been on the implant, which is progesterone only, since I was like a really little girl. And then all of a sudden I've been given this like artificial estrogen. It just made me so ill. And I very quickly thought, I don't think I'm suited to this pill at all. And I went back to the doctor and was like, I think I need to go on a progesterone only pill that's similar to what the implant had in it. And that was how I got put on Cerazette, which is, or some of you'll know it as like desogestrel or something like that, which is like a progesterone only pill that you take every day. And at this point, like Jaimi mentioned right at the beginning, it wasn't even about trying to control birth or pregnancy, because I wasn't even having sex. So like, it wasn't like I was thinking, God, better take my pill, might get pregnant. It's actually, the point is that you have been on these, you know, what's the word, like artificial hormones for so long that you kind of need to keep taking them to maintain some kind of normality in your body and in your life, because otherwise you have to spend months weaning off them. And I've done that twice, where I've got to the point where I've like, fuck this, I'm having a break. And it's taken me like a year or 2 years for my body to actually return to any form of normal or cycle. There's been one time where I came off the pill completely for like 1 or 2 years and my period never even came back, not once. I think you started contraception a lot older than me. Were you 16?
16.
Yeah. I still think 16's young, because you're not like sexually developed at 16, like
No,
in terms of like your hormones or anything.
I shouldn't even have been having sex when I was 16. Don't think anyone should be having sex at 16.
No, I don't. It's so weird, because if you would have asked me this younger, there's no way I would have these opinions. And that's not coming from a conservative place.
No, I completely agree.
I just genuinely think that
I think it emotionally damages you like so much.
Yeah.
And I think there are so few people, like women especially, with good experiences of relationships and sex when they were like 16. I don't know. It's just like really
who
difficult.
even you think of a woman in your life who even can say to you, "Oh yeah, at 16 I was having great sex where I came every time. It was consensual. I really enjoyed it."
Yeah, but people think they're having great sex
I'm fulfilled.
at 16.
Yeah, I know. But then you get older and you realise that it was fucking terrible.
And also, a lot of the girls who are having sex at 16, they're having sex with guys who are older than them.
Like adult men.
Well, not necessarily adults, but like older. I think my boyfriend was 18 or 19.
But that's an adult man.
Yeah.
And you're a child, legally.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. So, like, I think there's a lot of 18 and 19-year-old lads that go for, like, 16-year-old girls. I spoke about this on Twitter not long ago. I really do think there should be a law around this, but I just don't know how to, like, we've had discussions about this, haven't we?
It would be hard.
We just don't know how you would do that law. But we've spoken about this with other people, spoken about it with Jaimi.
Yeah, like, people who... So, for example, like, the people who I think, like, obviously I don't know now, I've not spoken to them, I'm not going to speak to them about it now. The people who I thought were having, like, were in healthy relationships at sort of 16, 17, and, like, were having sex, I knew they were having sex, but it seemed quite healthy, were the ones who were having sex with boys their age.
So there wasn't necessarily a huge power imbalance, because they were similar age.
Yeah.
Yeah, now that's what I'm interested in, is there a way of getting to a point where we agree about consent and also about contraception, but only when the other party is of a similar age to you?
It would just be hard to do, wouldn't it? Because, like,
I think it would be hard to do, yeah.
It would just be difficult.
So,
and I don't think that would even, like, solve all problems either.
No, it wouldn't, but there's way too much grey area around, like, oh, she's 16, so she can consent, and then you've got this 23-year-old bloke that's like,
I know someone,
you know what I mean?
I know someone whose dad was in his 40s, and the girl was sort of my age, like 10 or something, and then her dad started dating a 16-year-old and got her pregnant at 17.
Oh my God.
Still with her now.
Oh no.
Yeah, she got, like, 2 kids or something.
What, with him?
Yeah.
Oh, that's sick.
Yeah, I know. And, like, looking back...
What
like,
the fuck?
Like, imagine
Guy's
being...
a sex offender.
Well, imagine being 16 and having a baby with a 40-year-old.
Let's just...
And, like, and people just thought it was normal.
Do you remember that documentary about this? And it was called Age Gap Love.
No.
Oh my god, you have to see that shit. And it's literally about that. Like,
I think I've seen clips of it, actually.
Yeah, you did. It was on, was it Channel 4 or Channel 5?
Yeah.
Oh my god, it was so bad.
Yeah, actually, yeah.
And it was like about...
Did we watch it
Yeah,
together?
it was about a man who was in his like early 40s or something, and that he was mum's friend, and she was like 15 years old.
Yes.
And then he waited till her 16th birthday to sleep with her, and I'm like, dude's a sex offender. Why are we making a TV show about this and calling it age gap love? You've basically just documented sexual offences.
That's the thing though, isn't it? And then like, that's why...
And then they had a baby dead quick. She was pregnant by like 16 and a half.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
But like, most would be straight on birth control.
Yeah. Unless, obviously, you were the guy that wants to get you pregnant.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean? Like the control element of
Yeah.
it. Well, on that basis, do you think teen girls should have access to contraception? And, like, would you put any rules or boundaries around it?
I wouldn't... I do think that they should have access to it. And honestly, like, no one was going to tell me that I couldn't have sex.
Yeah. No.
And, like, if it was illegal, I'd still have sex. Like, I still would have done. And I don't really think anything could really have stopped me. So I think that it's important that they have access to birth control.
I was just thinking while you were talking that when I was a teenager, I had, like, a few girlfriends. I think maybe we should just encourage girls to just fuck girls.
I think if I'd have realised that I was gay,
Yeah.
it would have been, I don't know, but then, like, if I'd have realised I was gay, I'd probably have, like, had sex sooner, which, you know, is, I don't know, like, that's not necessarily a good thing, but no, I think they should have access to birth control, 100%.
Okay.
But there needs to be, like, if you go to a doctor and you're like, oh, I need to be put on birth control, and if you're, like, under 16,
yeah, there
the
should be
doctor
questions raised immediately.
They should, like, be phoning your parents.
Yeah.
There's so many things they should be like, but then it's really hard, isn't it? Because if you refuse, as a doctor, you're not a social worker, you're not a police officer, you're not, you know, there's loads of things that you're not, but you can help stop that girl getting pregnant.
But that's the way they see it. I think it's almost like, don't let them get pregnant above anything else. Who cares if they're being sexually abused?
It's not. I don't think it's a case of who cares. It's that it could, like, ruin their lives in so many different ways. Like.
Yeah, but so does sexual abuse.
Yeah.
So
it does.
for example,
but they're being sexually abused, and there's nothing the doctor can do about them being sexually abused.
Well, for a start, they could be ringing it in. Because that's, like, our duty to safeguard, right?
Yeah, no, that's
But then when
true.
it comes to contraception, for some reason, that goes out the window. So for me, right, you turn up at a clinic and you're 13 years old and you go, I want to go on the implant or whatever, and they go, yeah, okay, then sit in that chair, I'll put an implant in your arm. Why is there no one being like, who the fuck's sleeping with you? You're 13 years old, you've come down in school uniform. Where are your parents? Where are your carers? Who's having sex with you? And I remember, like, when I had my implant, I was 12, which means that was statutory rape. Whatever was happening to me and my friends at the time would have been statutory rape. So there's no argument even around capacity or anything in the law, and yet nothing. Nobody even was like, you can't. Nobody can have sex with you. Why do you need an implant? Like, and like that's. You know, nowadays, and I know what people will say when they hear this podcast, they'll say, oh, it's different now, we ask them questions. And we go, you know, who are you in a relationship with? How old are they? Do you consent?
The girls who are having sex know what answers. They know how to
we
answer
knew
those
what
questions.
answers to fucking give, and that was like 20 years ago. You know, but like, they're just, like, is there any flags around this? So say, for example, they get, you know, like in my school, all
Under
the teenage
16,
girls.
don't they call your parents?
No, no, because you have a right to confidentiality.
Under 16?
Yes.
Do you?
Yes, absolutely you do, yeah. You have a right to confidentiality. So you've got, like, you know, potentially you've got, say, for example, a girl getting the implant or pills, and for all we know, you know, there could be anything happening to her, and there's no duty for that professional to tell a parent or to tell another safeguarding professional.
Yeah.
And that's what worries me about it. So on the surface, obviously, we want to protect, especially young girls from pregnancy and all the rest of it. Of course they should have access to it. But on the other hand, you've got this weird culture that's developed where we're so concerned about teenage pregnancy, we're not considering the fact that there's some, like, who are they trying to protect themselves from pregnancy from? They're children.
Yeah.
They can't consent.
And also, like, if they're using, like, hormones and like that sort of birth control, they're still at risk of getting STDs.
Yeah, of course.
And I think a lot of people don't care about, or like don't care as much about STDs as they do getting pregnant.
Me and you've had this conversation before, because, like, when I was growing up, everybody was like, oh, well, if she's on the pill, you don't need a Johnny. And that was how it was. It was that they would be like, oh, you on the pill? And then if the answer was like, yeah, or like, oh, have you got an implant? Yeah. You could not get a boy or a man to wear a condom. You had no chance. And it was almost seen as like, you're not going to get pregnant, so what's your fucking problem? And it was like STDs didn't even exist. And ironically, I've said this to Jaimi before, that we had an outbreak of chlamydia at my high school where like hundreds of children got chlamydia in one go, all from like being sexually active with each other essentially and passing it around. And I was lucky that I never got it. And in this weird irony, the reason that I didn't get it was because I wasn't sexually active with anybody within my school at all, right? But loads of my friends got chlamydia and got treated for it. And then because they'd slept with others, and then they'd slept with others, and then they'd slept with others, it turned into this huge, like... One of my friends had to tell, like, 4 people that she had chlamydia. And then, like, they had to then tell, like, 12 people that they had chlamydia.
Yeah.
And then they had to tell 3 people they had chlamydia. And, like, none of them were even of an age of consent.
Yeah.
No, nobody was. We were in year 9.
Yeah.
Like, why was that not addressed?
But, like, there must have been some, like, maybe girls or something in that school who was having sex with people outside of that, like an older.
Yeah, there was. Absolutely.
Because that's how it would happen.
Well, yeah, absolutely. So, like, we also had this service, I don't know if this is a thing anymore, but we had a service attached to our school. So the teenage pregnancy rate and STD rate in our areas were so, like, serious that we actually had, like, like a sexual health clinic attached to our school. It was a building on the side of the school where it was staffed with nurses, and they weren't school nurses, they were actually from the NHS and they went and worked there every day.
Wow, every day?
Every single day it was staffed.
Oh my God.
It was that busy from 9 till like 4 o'clock in the afternoon after school had finished.
Oh my God.
It was rammed. Sometimes you went in there and there was like 80 kids in there. There's no way you'd get an appointment in one day. It was like a drop-in every single day. And sometimes you would go in and there was not a single, like, place to even stand. It was so busy. You had to really pick your times to get in there, and it was like, obviously it was attached to the school, right? And it was just so, like, normalised.
Well, yeah, that would normalise having sex, though, wouldn't it?
Yeah, well, yeah, absolutely did. But it also, one of the things it did do, and it never addressed the abuse of the girls in my year or the years around me, was that they would take you for abortions and not tell your parents in school time.
Yeah.
So, like, I knew girls that had been for 6-7 abortions using that service.
But, like, that's what I mean. If, like, obviously, what they should be doing first is being, like, who is getting this girl pregnant?
Yeah, I know.
But also, is it not more, what's the word, like, traumatising to have abortions than it is to be given, like, birth control?
Oh, I see what you mean, yeah.
Like, obviously, the biggest issue there is that she's being abused and being sexually abused, but is it not just as bad to then have become pregnant from, like, abuse?
Yeah. I know.
Or, like, even worse. Because the thing is, as well...
I think this is the debate.
But the pressure on, like, girls to keep babies is awful. Like, imagine if that girl, like, had to keep those kids... or whatever.
I think the nurses at our thingy had talked her into an abortion every single time, and I think that was the right thing to do.
But, like, imagine...
I know who was getting her pregnant, and he was a fucking idiot.
But, like, imagine having to go through that.
Yeah.
And she will still think about that. She will still think about all of those pregnancies, because it's not easy for anyone.
No, I know. Do you think that women and girls are informed enough about contraception before they take it or like accept it?
No, because doctors aren't even informed enough.
I definitely... Okay, I have this interest in whether giving contraception to girls that are still in puberty actually damages them.
Yeah, but of course it does.
But yeah, I know there's no research into it,
No, there's no research into it, but like, I don't actually know anyone who hasn't had issues with contraception.
No.
I actually do not know a single female who's not had issues with contraception.
Yeah, I think the thing that it triggers for me quite a lot is, you know, these arguments they're having at the moment around hormones with children and puberty blockers and so on.
Yep.
I'm
100%.
like, hi, hello, you know, did you know that girls have been being put on these artificial hormones for the last 40 fucking years? When have you questioned that? And like, it interests me that we're then like going, as feminists, we're being like, these hormones damage children. You know, these hormones are artificial. These hormones could do this. I'm like, hi, yeah, sorry. We have actually been doing that for a long fucking time. The only difference is that in this case it's cross-sex hormones. But we've actually been feeding girls, specifically teenage girls, artificial hormones way before they are sexually developed.
Yeah.
For decades. And everybody thinks that's normal.
Yeah.
And I would love to see research into what that does to your body.
Yeah, and like I was talking to... It's so weird that I was talking to Eleanor about this today.
Yeah.
That she literally said to me, in 50 years' time, so much is going to come out about it.
I think it will, and I fucking hope it does. I would I would invest in that research.
Well, yeah, like, but obviously I hope that it doesn't. I hope that we're wrong.
No,
but we're not wrong. Like, when we know that, like, so many female cancers are caused by hormones.
Oh, they're like fed and fueled by hormones, yeah.
And then when we are giving children, and like little girls, these hormones artificially, putting a fuck ton in their body whilst they're going through puberty, like, what do we think is going to happen?
It's like, that's why I think I've never had proper periods.
Yeah,
so
I think that going on hormones, even at 16, has damaged me.
Yeah. I think
forever.
I went on them, obviously, like I said, at 12, and I've never had a proper cycle or a period ever. You know, I conceived 2 children with no periods whatsoever. Like, I remember going to the doctors and they're like, when was your last period? I was like, I don't fucking know. When I was 11. And they were sort of like, ha ha ha, funny. I was like, I'm not joking. And then even when I came off it, like, after I'd had the 2 pregnancies, my period never came back. And then I went on the pill, it never came back. Then I came off it, it never came back. And then I came off it for 2 years, it never came back. And then me and you started living together, and our, like, hormones, like, synced up to fuck. And all of a sudden we both came on a period after not having periods for years. And we both came on the period, sometimes within hours of each other, every month. Yeah. And I was just like, what the fuck? Yeah. And people can tell you that that's a myth all they like. I have never, ever had periods in, like, what, you're looking at fucking, sort of, at the time it was like 16, 17 years. And then all of a sudden I was having them perfectly every month in line with you. Yeah. That was some crazy ass shit. And then, like, where's the research on that? Why are we told that that's a myth? When you talk to lesbian couples, their periods very often sync up. Yeah. And that if you Google this, it will say it's a myth. Bullshit, it's a myth. Women's bodies don't sync up, blah, blah, bullshit. I don't get it. Because, like, all the lesbians I know have said that happens to them. Yeah. Especially when you've moved in. Yeah. So, like... Also, I grew up with my mum and my sisters. And all our periods were within a day of each other. Yeah. Like, I'm sorry, but I don't know how anybody could argue that it was just junk science. Yeah. It's almost like, yeah, women do have this experience, but also women are mental. So fuck them. Yeah. Yeah, women do seem to have this really weird thing that happens to them that's actually probably the key to understanding female biology and the links to the moon and the lunar cycle, but who gives a fuck? Mm-hmm. There's a last question here before we finish. Did you hear about the male pill? I wanted to ask you this.
Yes, and that it gave some men a slight headache, so they decided to stop rolling it out. That's right, isn't it?
It is. So, for those of you that don't know, there was several clinical trials that got really far into
I wouldn't trust men to take it anyway.
Well,
it's not men who have to deal with the consequences, it's women. Unfortunately.
So there was this trial that got quite far. They were going all the way through medical trials and they were testing it and everything on men to take a pill every day that would basically make it so that their sperm wasn't fertile. They weren't able to get a woman pregnant. And quite rightly, Jaimi said, so many of them complained of very mild side effects.
No, not that many of them. Like, just a few.
Oh, was it? I thought it was, like, quite a lot, but it was mild. So it was, like, really mild. So some of them were complaining that they sometimes got a headache or they sometimes felt a bit dizzy.
Yeah.
It was, like, really, really mild compared to what women deal with on the pill.
And then they still get told, oh, no, it's not because of that.
Yeah. So they basically decided to just stop all clinical trials into it. There was no point in carrying on with it. Men don't like it. It gives them mild side effects. Boo-hoo. So that was it. That was the end of it. Which is really like a kick considering how much women and girls have been subjected to with their side effects of their pill. And as Jaimi just said, if you go to your doctor and go, right, I've been on this pill for like 6 months and like say for example, I'm bleeding every day, I have cramps.
Oh yeah, let's put the coil in you as well.
Yeah, and then they just go, oh, well, that happens sometimes. And you're like, yeah, but I don't want it to happen. I want it to stop because it's making me feel awful. Well, you know, women's bodies are a mystery. With men in the clinical trials were like, I've got a bit of a headache, and they're like, stop the fucking trials, stop it, shut it down, sack everyone, fuck them.
Yeah, like the thing is, if you're in like a relationship with a man that you really love and trust, then like, yeah, like maybe it would be good if he went on the pill, but at the end of the day, it's women who will always have to deal with the consequences of an unwanted baby. So whether that's having an abortion, whether that's raising a kid that you don't want,
growing it in your body,
growing it in your body, having to put it up for adoption,
the health impacts on your body,
and then like the financial issues that will come when they are born.
Yeah,
like it's one of those things. Into like, yes, it would be good if men had a pill, but would they actually use it? We already know that a lot of men get women pregnant on purpose anyway, as like a power thing.
Yeah, I've worked with women where men, so especially in domestic violence, where men stole their pill.
Yeah.
And like deliberately, where they were like withholding their contraception, stole it, binned it, or hid it so that the woman would get pregnant.
Yeah.
You know? I don't know. I honestly, I feel like the older I get and the more grumpy and rad I get, there's more and more issues that I want exploring around female contraception.
It's so worrying. And so, like, I've come off the pill now.
Yeah.
And touch wood, at the moment, my endo is not too bad.
Yeah, no, exactly. So, like, loads of women use the pill to control endo symptoms, don't they?
Yeah.
And it's not even about using it as a contraceptive, is it? You know?
But it's just, I'm just like, I'm just putting so much weight on. I don't know, I need to see if I can just settle my body down. But that's another thing, like, we just don't use it for what we, like, for birth control. Because women go to doctors with anything, they're like, oh, it's your hormones. Let's put you on the pill.
I know, and then if you say to them, oh, okay, I was thinking maybe I could have a hormone test, like, no. You're like, well, you just said you think
let's just put you on the pill.
Hormones.
I think the best thing to do is just go on the pill for 6 months, and then we'll review it then.
Oh,
and you're like, oh, can I have a smear test? No, you're not old enough.
Oh, don't even start me, please don't. We don't even have time.
We literally just use the pill for everything. It's like hand it out like sweets.
I know.
And we don't even care about the impact that it has on women.
I want to see longitudinal research on the impacts on women's bodies and women's health, especially of women who went on the pill as a child. That's what I want to see.
Yeah.
We better... God, I can't believe how fast that went.
Yeah, that went quick. We could talk about this
forever.
Yeah, we could.
Well, if you've got any views on it, you should get in touch with us because I'm so interested in this topic.
Yeah.
So thank you for listening. And maybe we should do a plastic clink.
Yeah.
Do you want to try?
Yeah, you got to hold it like this, though.
Okay,
Ready, go.
That was
Wow.
so fucking
Oh
underwhelming.
my god.
Okay,
Maybe we should sing.
okay, goodbye, bye.